Griffin goes up and knocks it down. Thompson had it smothered off the boot. In goes Shirley, claimed immediately. And the bounce. Interesting, Tim, just looking at the composition of Geelong's side this afternoon. Stephen King, I thought he played very well last week. He starts on the bench.
Yeah, I think that's probably just a signal to young Blake as to what they might be thinking as they head towards the finals.
Corey loops it over the top. The kick goes down towards half forward. Wojcinski found his target too. Johnson comes across to Bartel, who's marked directly in front, 35 metres out. Jimmy Bartel having a wonderful season.
I know he's one of your favourites, Dennis. A moment ago at that first centre bounce, Scotty Thompson looked like he was going to clear the centre bounce and kick the ball forward. It was Bartel who actually put himself on top of his boots, smothered it, forced the stoppage, and then out of the corner of his eye, he just saw Stevie Johnson take control of the ball, ran into that space. He can do it all, James Bartel.
8th man taken in that great draft of 2001, directly behind Ashley Sampi. Actually, that wasn't a draft, it was a Texas tornado. Bartel, beautiful.
That's a great start for the Cats. They are a high-scoring side. They like an up-tempo style of football. Here's Bartel. Actually got the ball out to Corey in the first place. That's what I highlighted at the start of the game, just how good they are at clearing the ball from the clearances. I like the way Johnson does this. He's always on the move. He makes something happen. He's not always quite sure what he's going to do, but it forces the players down the field to move and makes the opposition defence also uncomfortable.
13 goals for the season, but his first since round 15 for Jimmy Bartel. One stage equal favourite for the Brownlow, and now not too far behind Gary Ablett and maybe Chad Corns. Corey curled up by Van Berlo in the centre, and then Edwards. Of course, the big story in Adelaide this week is that Ben Hudson left out of the team, given a 1-week suspension for getting home late on the Sunday night. So he would have been handy for sure, but they've drawn the line in the sand, so to speak, and no Hudson. So Corey's free kick. Or was it coming back to Enright? Well, it was Corey, wasn't it? Just Corey Enright. Out wide.
Oh, it's a good kick.
Free again, Stokes. Now comes back to Bartel. He's got time to measure. Not a great kick because Bock and Stevens have read it pretty well, and Bock rushes it through. Cap forwards just didn't read Bartel's mind as quickly as it was ticking over.
Look, Adelaide loaded one side of the ground here.
Both fast-starting teams, but the Cats have got the first 2 scores.
Edwards to midfield. Jericho in the side. Comes hard, was pushed in the back. He'll get the free. In for Welsh. Jericho looking down towards half forward, sets it up for Perry. Egan wanted some contact and got it. Taken high was Bartel, no free. Egan, Harley creates some space. Bartel, gee, been in everything so far. Jimmy goes short and finds Johnson. Needed it to be 15 because he went to ground as he marked that one. Barely 15. Jono goes down towards half forward. Milburn missed it. Lurking behind Ablett. To Stokes, heard the voice, back to Ablett. Their confidence is sky high. Bacon goal square. This will skid on. It skids on indeed. It's a goal.
He is so smart, Gary Ablett. He's been in unbelievable form too. In the last 3 weeks, he's been averaging 31 touches. Just watch the way. There's his brother Nathan just getting the ball over the top. Already they've been handballing or handball happy even in these conditions, the Cats. He knew that ball was going to skid. All he had to do was clear John Cock, put it into the position. It wasn't going to bounce. It wasn't going to bobble. It wasn't going to go off to the side. It just skids truly. The ground is really wet out there.
So impressive. He had Shirley bearing down him, but he didn't panic at all. He was within a metre, but he just kept going. Bartel 5 disposals. We saw Nathan Foley start pretty well the other night, didn't we? And Jimmy Bartel doing something similar. So the Cats have got this dream start, and Corey gets a dream run from Watkins and then goes bang and finds Kelly.
What about their work at the clearances already, the Cats?
It's been good, Kelly.
Right on it.
He needed to be good to hold his place in this team. He was on the edge, I reckon, on the precipice at the start of this year.
Disposals 18 to 3.
He's kicked 4 goals in the last 2 weeks, and they're using one another so well, and Mackie just drops down. And Adelaide can't get their hands on it.
Going to be a real problem for two in the ruck, Marich and Griffin. They've both played 13 games, up against King, who's played 190 games, and Ottens, who's played 181 games. So they're giving away a lot of experience in a really important position on the ground.
He's kicked 9 goals, Mac. If he kicks this, he'll be the 13th cat to kick 10 goals this season. He hasn't done it just there. But their depth is just their strength, isn't it? They're sharp with Ablett and Bartel and a couple of others, but they've got such depth as well, and that's a terribly shaky kick from John Cock, but got to Stevens.
Stevens hugs the boundary. This is Tawney, so at least some ball for Adelaide. Well,
As if he needs some help.
Bartel, a leather magnet at the moment. Milburn, 55 metres out. Johnson saw the vacant square. Mooney dropping back almost the mark. Rutten heads for the boundary line. Desperate trouble down there for Goodwin. Slung across the line. It'll be thrown in.
He was probably too unselfish then, Johnson. He was inside 50 when he kicked that ball. It was a vacant goal square. He could have kicked the ball over the top of Mooney and had a shot himself.
Boundary throw in. Hands in the back there. No free kick. Then Burlow. Oh dear. Ablett gets a free. Well, I thought Griffin should have got one before.
Gee, he made the most of that too, didn't he, Nathan Ablett?
He did.
Only slightly retarded there.
Bad break for Adelaide. Ablett, oblivious to all of that, wants to finish it off. Nice toss to win. Conditions good at the moment. Whatever breeze there is, Geelong have it behind them, and momentum is gathering.
That's his 24th goal for the year, Nathan Ablett. He's really probably battling Hawkins for that position as that second tall inside their forward line. Only averages 9 touches a game, so he's still got plenty of work to do on actually getting the ball, Nathan Ablett.
I reckon there's so much upside to him as a player.
Probably at this stage he's about 75% of what they'll hope he'll be one day, Nathan Ablett.
So a big challenge for the Adelaide coaching staff now. They're 3 and a bit goals down at Geelong against a team that has won 13 straight and lead the competition by more than any other team has for 57 years at this stage after 18 rounds. And they just look awesome at the moment. Kelly trying to get it clear. John Cock, well done. And then kicks to centre wing. Gould did very well, I thought, against Scarlett because he was out of position. Then he put a high tackle on Ottens. Now Porplesia around the corner. Egan, who's had a super year, snaffles it up and goes in short to Wojcinski, who loves to run and takes Gill on, and Archie's back and then goes with a long bomb. Mooney the target, almost. Well, gee, free kick surely to Johnson. He was just shoved in the back.
Hold it there, Brett Burton, hold the man.
Well, the Crows get it.
Stay there, Brett.
There's no 50, Brett. Go back.
No harm trying.
They're so confident, the Cats are quite prepared to concede a 50 there.
This is Bok out of the back pocket to the outer side, and Tawney.
Gee, they have to do something in the early stages of this game with their centre clearances and their stoppages. Geelong are just smashing them around the clearances.
Just catching their breath right now, Adelaide. Slowing things down, not bad policy. First 3 goals in the game to the Cats. Suddenly, if you get one, 3-1 is not insurmountable. 4 to Zipperuni suddenly is very tough.
Dennis, they did this really well, this tempo football last year, just to stop the momentum of the opposition side, but I've watched them a couple of times this year and I just don't think they've been as effective with it this year.
John Cock.
Liverpool came from 3 goals down in the European Cup final, Dennis.
Doesn't happen too often, though, does it? But I know what you're saying. Different game, of course, Bruce. Rutten goes across. Edwards. Goodwin. Now John Cock is running at them. Change of tempo. Van Berlo back to John Cock to half forward. Jericho had it knocked away. Pushling in the back. No free. Digs it out. Scarlett, Enright back in the side this afternoon. Awkward one for Burns. Good one falling to the ground. Through it, did he? Terribly.
Adelaide still haven't gone inside their 50.
So Burns wide to Kelly. And the Cats to go in again. Lovely kick to Mooney.
Missed him the first time, got him the second time. That was a great lead from Mooney. Took Rutten to the goal square and then charged out from deep in the forward line.
Kick 3 against the Crows in that low-scoring win. Adelaide have got closest to Geelong in this streak of 13 within 7 points. Had 7 more scoring shots that day, but Goodwin was injured through the match. He's had a great year, Mooney. 44 goals coming into this game. He's kicked it just to the left. And a miss. They're just at the top of their game, aren't they?
Well, that's normally the post aim for too, but not today.
They won 16 out of 18 first quarters this year, Geelong. So McLeod getting his hands on it for the first time, kicking it in and puts Van Berlo under the pump. Oh, boy. And that's a nice act by Kelly to help him up.
Well, this is what I spoke about before the game, their ability to score and create scoring opportunities from stoppages. And we've already seen in the early part of this game, Corey, who's now off the ground having a rest, but Otten's been able to get his hand to the ball. That's the area they need to control, Adelaide.
King did brilliantly that time. Mackey in the grasp. And this ball bounces out of bounds in the pocket. All Geelong. Andrew Mackey and Corey Enright both grew up barracking for the Crows. Their favourite player, Andrew McLeod. Andrew probably doesn't expect to be tackled this afternoon. Scramble about 15 metres out from goal. Well worked by the Crows. Well, momentarily, Selwood, Bartel, 7th possession, wonderful goal. He's my Brownlow man.
Adelaide coming off the ground too. He and Shirley were engaged in a wrestling competition off to the side of that stoppage, but they've just got so much power around the ball, Geelong, and that's been a hallmark of the way they've played all year. They've got incredible depth in their midfield. Blokes now who've been around a while, they've played 100 games, they've got the body, they've got the capabilities endurance-wise to be able to run out a full game of football, and they are a much fitter unit than what they were last year too, and he's happy with that, Jimmy.
Well, what a contrast we're seeing here. One team playing the beautiful game and the other one looking very ugly, aren't they?
Well, they can't get their hands on the ball. They've had 7 possessions.
Well, Bartel's leading them, isn't he? I think Jimmy's in front of the whole team. And there he is. He certainly is. Selwood swings it to Mackey. It is good to watch unless you're back home. Johnson back to Mackey. And Mackey from 50. Well, he misses for the second time, but we'll forgive him.
And what you may not have seen off screen there was the shepherd applied by James Kelly. Just took the Adelaide opponent right out of the contest. So they're not just running to link up and to provide a target. They actually work off the ball well, the Cats.
Working with and for one another, aren't they? So McLeod with a long bomb. Not sure exactly who he had targeted there. Ling against 5 Crows. Was able to get it clear. And then Bartel again. Yes, it is Bartel. And Tawney getting a good call from the ump there early to say that he would pay the mark. What are the inside 50s, Dennis?
Geelong 10, Adelaide. Read that again, Bruce. None. Amazing stuff. Chance here, perhaps. Gill wholeheartedly goes after the football, but it's out of bounds.
Just trying to work out who isn't picking up Bartel. Looks like Van Berlo's gone to him at this stoppage.
So boundary throw in outside the 50. Marriage and King. Marriage backhands it down. Goodwin goes after it. Now he pulled it in. Umpire Roseberry wants it. Halfway through the opening term. So far, pointless for the Crows. Woo! Big jump by Douglas. Landed heavily too. They're inside the 50, sort of. Came through the legs of Gill, crashing in. That's Riley. Down he goes. And the umpire calls for it. Now that's an inside 50, but virtually it was just pushed in there. Little steps.
Dennis, I reckon that's one of the tactics today, to get that third man up over the top, just to try and clear the immediate space.
Simon Goodwin, your kick against Geelong.
Heard the call.
No, he's running around. You're hanging on to his jumper.
The clamp. Cameron Ling went on to Foley in the second half last week after Foley had 26 touches in the first half, put the clamp on him, kept him to a modest tally of just 34.
Well, he's clamping a little premature there and illegal. So Goodwin. They talk about the much needed goal, and he's just kicked it.
There was nothing precise or impressive about the way they built that up, the Adelaide Crows, but they desperately needed it. Here's the top of the screen. You'll see this. There's Goodwin just trying to take up from the stoppage, and Cameron Ling just got his arm attached to him, and the umpire saw that, and that is clearly a free kick. But let's just hope that the umpires have the same awareness all over the game, all over the ground for the rest of the game. As we see the Cats making a change, Nathan Abbott will come off, Ottens will go deep into the forward line, Mooney will come out to centre half forward.
He's a class act, Goodwin. As we go down to you, Rick.
Well, talking about a class act, Bartel's just come off the ground for a rest. He's brought a ball magnet to the ground, to the game. Bad news for Crows is Gary Ablett was his replacement.
Selwood out of the centre. Kicks inside that 50. Bock takes a beauty. So both Ottens and King are out there at the moment. And that, I reckon, is one of the big question marks. Just how does Bomber Thompson structure their ruck division in the finals? They can wrap up the minor premiership today.
Fancy, right back to me.
Well, they've got Ottens now at full forward. Cameron Mooney will move up to centre half forward, and that's an advantage for them if they get the ball there long, hard or high and quick deep, because Ottens is going to be opposed to Stevens.
So Tawney went back to Bock, who then went to Massey. The crowd didn't think it was 15 metres. So, gee, not high percentages in that. Heap of Geelong players. Gill, Burton couldn't quite. Well done there by Corey, and then Scarlett's hands were okay to Harley. Douglas did well, and now Burton.
Close to the boundary line with the left foot inside the forward 50. Milburn, ever reliable. Good grab to Selwood. Running hard, Ablett. Pushing up towards the wing. Selwood goes again, gets it back. Great running footy. Selwood inside the 50. Stokes needs to turn around.
Andrew McLeod, your kick. Andrew, you're held.
I'd like to see that again.
I would love to see that again. Stokes has got the defensive role on McLeod. It's 2 possessions each.
Douglas taken down by Selwood, tries to dig it out. Ablett over the shoulder. Massey goes back, confronted by Stokes, gets it away to McLeod. Makes it look easy. Gathered the half volley. Interesting. McLeod to Edwards on the wing. He proceeds to kick it out of bounds. Well, when your quality players do that, it looks like it's going to be a long afternoon.
And we talk about how good they are in attacking mode, the Cats, but they're also one of the best defences in the competition too, so it's hard to score against them.
Well, Tim, they are ranked #1 in attack and defence, which is a rarity. Hasn't happened for a lot of years that a team has been one in both scoring and restricting. King and Marriage. Goodwin read that well. Oh, straight though to Wojcinski. Wojcinski to square up.
Biggin smashed in the rucks.
Milburn to Harley to Scarlett with some run. Riley late on him. Well done in the end, and then Massey cleverly. So Adelaide steadying here. Their last 5 minutes has been reasonable. They need that extra goal. 4-2 wouldn't look too bad after the carnage we saw early. Terrible kick by Riley coming in, and Wojcinski to take off, and with a running bounce by putting it down, and then a probing kick to Ottens, who made a great fist of it. John Cock, Goodwin, too hot for McLeod. That's saying something. Ling
Pulls it back towards the middle, and the mark is taken well by Massey. Showed the judgment to Goodwin. Now Tawney, meters in the clear on the outer side. Got an early goal last week. Runs it up towards the wing, kicks to midfield. Knights inside the centre square, pushed as he kicked, affected the kick. Good pressure from Selwood. Scarlett, the beneficiary, bounces it back quickly. Taken by Milburn. This is Burns running down towards the 50. 55 metres out. Sets it up. Ottens is being held. No free kick. Bock comes in. Takes the mark. And 50 against Ottens. He needs to be careful.
50 metres, holding on.
And Geelong need to be a little bit smarter with the ball too, Dennis. It was a 2-on-1. It was always going to be a difficult ask for Ottens to compete there. They had to lower their eyes and just kick a half one.
Might have been a kick there to Ottens. Adelaide dodge a bullet. Bock comes out wide, taken by Shirley. Well, last time they went to Ottens, I think it was 1 against 3, so maybe they thought marginally things were improving.
So Bock's got a good pair of hands, hasn't he?
Yeah, wonderful pair of hands.
Take a mark.
Good player.
Edwards tonight, whose previous kick was a shocker and probably should have cost the Crows a goal on the rebound. Too far for Gill, and then Pleasure had a bad fumble. Crows with numbers, Gill taking them on and then getting wrapped up, and he's gone. Wojcinski quickly on to Milburn. Just stopping and then change of direction.
It's good running.
And there was a clever mark to him by Johnson in the end.
Oh.
He's forced to go up and under. Varco to run at John Cock. Burns and also Riley in there.
Oh.
Well, Thompson it was. Burns wins it. Kick to Bartel. Oh, he's got some party tricks, hasn't he? And then Bartel goes bang, lace out. And then Mooney goes back to Selwood just to really rub it in.
Oh, Bartel's mark there in the 1 mid. He looked hopelessly out of position. Here's Gill just taking the tackler on. That's good work by Wojcinski. That's why it's so difficult to score, because they are desperate tacklers. And this is a beautifully weighted kick to Mooney.
Well, he's putting Gary Ablett in the shade at the moment, Bartel, and that's not easy to do, is it? Just for the moment. And Selwood drives it home.
Look at a kid like Selwood, steps in to the side. Just a youngster, averaging 19 possessions for the season and 3 clearances, and has stepped up to the best midfield in the competition. 4 out of the last 5 goals have been scored by midfielders for the Cats as well. So not only are they working around the stoppages, they're working hard to get free in the forward line as well.
And what about Jimmy Bartel? Coming off 32 possessions last week, he's never reached 30 against the Crows. Interesting. He's well on the way this afternoon. He's got 10 already. Van Berlo kicks it down towards half forward, swooping on the loose ball. Wojcinski did brilliantly. Egan got through. Johnson, Egan on the lead. Make it 11. This is Selwood. They combine again. Can he get it through? Intended for Ablett with courage. John Cock came across on the angle, took the mark. Thompson.
Adelaide getting smashed at the clearances, Den. 9-2 now.
Good one around the outer side. Perry squares it. Tawney cruising past Massey. He's been okay. Varco appear to push him in the back. Doesn't matter. Gill's got it. Or rather, Pleasure. Tawney taken down by Varco. Too high. Free kick. It was his left hand that strayed up.
He's a tackling machine, is Varco. Oh, yeah. It was his right arm that just got Tawney across the shoulder. Just watch, here's a better angle of it. Bang, yep, across the throat.
No doubting that. Left or right, but the crowd certainly unhappy. Tawney on the clock. 52 metres out. Goes long down towards full forward. They'll compete about 5 metres out. No competition. Harley in career best form. Easy mark to Johnson. Loops it over the top. Corey, right half back. Jericho stayed off him. Corey gets it away to Stokes.
Beautiful kick by Stokes. Absolutely brilliant to Burns. He'll take Van Berlo on, and he does. Cheekily with the bounce. Well done, Van Berlo. But still Stokes is going. The run with Wojcinski. John Cock's been terrific, I reckon.
Yeah. John Cox,
See what was interesting, Tim, a moment ago, when Tawney kicked the ball in, it was Jericho and Griffin. Where were Burton and Gould for the big high fly? Because that's the X factor. That's what they can do, and they needed a big mark in the goal square, and they didn't get it. Kelly chops it off, and then not a particularly good kick. Bock and John Cock are doing a mighty job down back. Massey Thompson. John Cock did well again, just to keep it going. And then Riley to Van Berlo, who did the job on Chad Corns last week. He's got a lot of problems again today. And now McLeod just sit up. That's a very lazy kick. Scarlett, Enright.
Good to see him back too, Corey Enright. Kelly, good evasion, comes to the wing. Otten's well-weighted kick.
It was a lazy kick by McLeod. He had to go short to Perry, who was a lead-up play. Kick to a 1-on-3.
Selwood has been very lively in the last 5 minutes, has got this one on the wing. Faint sunshine breaking through. 33-6. The power of Geelong on display. We're late in this first term. Scarlett to Ablett. Ablett's sixth possession to Kelly.
I think the discussion for the Adelaide Crows players at the quarter-time break will be about actually roving to the winning Geelong ruckman. They're not going to be able to compete against them, so they're actually going to have to shark their taps.
Ablett's got it left half back. And their goal came from that free kick to Goodwin. Mark taken by Griffin. Lays it off to McLeod. Now it's coming back. It's a free kick, and it's going to, I think, Rutten, who wasn't involved in the play but being held. And I wondered at the time, given the dominance of Geelong's ruck, why Ling needed to hang on. Holding on to Goodwin beside the pack. Harley again, what a strong grab.
You're right before, Dennis. He's been in unbelievable form since he returned to the side. Can play against the talls, can play against the smalls, provides enormous leadership.
He's played 10 straight now, Harley, after playing in the opening game and then missing a whole hit. McLeod getting some late disposals. That's a better kick. Tawney been pretty busy. He had a big match last week, Tawney, and a couple of goals. Kicks to the hot spot, but Geelong too easily. And then Egan to Ling to Johnson. Gets down now. Thompson to try and put Enright under the pump. Sweats on him. So the Crows get a good result here, I reckon.
Well done.
It's hard to penetrate this defence, though, isn't it? Scarlett came off his man beautifully then, timed it to perfection just to perfect the spoil.
They just can't take a mark inside 50 either, the Crows. Not that they've had it in there often.
Porplesia went down. Goodwin. Thompson had to fish for the footy, and Selwood just ripped it off him and went back to Enright. Enright to Harley.
In the back pocket, Harley. To Kelly. Corey has already peeled off and running for space. It comes in his direction.
Gee, worked hard then.
Courageous mark too. He knew John Cock was coming. Chips it towards half forward. Johnson had it knocked away by Stevens. Jericho, they've got 3-on-2 to Stevens under pressure. Not 15. Oh, turn it up. John Cock's got the footy at the interchange gates. Here's Bock. Rutten is on in the middle. Play on's the call. Bock takes off then. Just shy of the wing. Terrible kick. Awkward half volley. Giovanni Casanova would have been proud of that gather. And there goes the kick from Shirley. Inside the 50 will count it. They'll take all the inside 50s they can get. Quarter time. Geelong powerful. Awesome. 5-3. Adelaide struggling. 1 goal on Sunday footy.
Just wait here, I'll be 2 secs.
It's easy to get your footy fix fast with AFL video highlights on the Nokia 6120 Classic and the Telstra Next G network.
What do you think?
Awesome.
Really?
You look good.
Ask for a demonstration at Telstra shops today.
Hi, Dad. Here's your dinner.
Thanks, love. I'll see you tomorrow. LG's kitchen range makes everything easy, so anyone can use it. LG. Life's good.
foot goal. He's a superstar.
Watch the Crows fire up against the Western Bulldogs on Sunday, August 19 at Amy Stadium. Tickets on sale now at Bass. Adelaide Crows, share the pride.
How about taking a break in the real Australia? The Australia where even the sun and the sea get together at the end of the day. And where it's not just the winemakers who have a great sense of balance. Perth and the Margaret River region are the real thing. And right now you can spend 5 days there with all flights, car hire and accommodation from just $699 per person. Perth and Margaret River. Book today with Discover West Holidays.
Tui's New is giving you the chance to be part of a new world record attempt. Simply go to tuisnewworldrecord.com.au to be part of the Wallaby Supporters Photo Mosaic. For a world record, the mosaic needs to be more than 60,000 different photos. So come on, Aussies, show your support for the Wallabies. The more fan photos, the better. You could win some great prizes when you upload your photos, including a trip to France to present the mosaic to the team. The more photos you upload, the greater chance of winning. Tui's New, for the love of the Wallabies.
There are lots of myths about the workplace relations system.
The biggest myth is that employees are alone and unprotected. And that's just not true. Employees are not alone. I'm the head of the Workplace Authority and we're here to provide support and advice to employees in making agreements. And there's the Workplace Ombudsman who will take action against employers who do the wrong thing. For more information, just call us on the Workplace Info line.
The Workplace Relations System. Know where you stand. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
PlayStation 3. Massive breakthrough. The ultimate computer entertainment device is now even better value. For $988, get the PlayStation 3 with 60 gig hard drive, plus Resistance Fall of Man, plus Motorstorm, plus an extra wireless controller. Bonus, that's right, 2 games and extra controller at no extra cost. When you buy your PS3 for $988, a massive saving. PlayStation 3 plus games plus controller, all for $988. Get into PlayStation 3. Now at Harvey Norman's Games Hotspot.
And the rucks, a lot of discussion about the rucks today, Rick.
Yeah, that's right, Bruce. They've been getting smashed at the stoppage of the Crows. And what's noticeable at ground level is the size of Ottens and King versus Marriage and Griffin. It's like men playing with boys, and that's why they're winning the clearances. Just on the weather, guys, there is a storm brewing, some dark clouds coming over the top. All the locals have gone for their wet weather gear at quarter times. We are expecting some rain. The wind has also picked up. It's favouring the left of screen. It's a good news for the Crows. They'll have the favourite of the wind in this quarter.
Provided it does not rain. It looks like it's almost here. Griffin won it down that time. Goodwin goes after it. Crows needing early goals while it's fine, and they've got the breeze behind them. It's stiffened. It's got darker as well. Gill almost the mark. Scarlett, how did he get out of there? In trouble, feeds it back. Mackey. Harley. Now Enright. Wojcinski, slow to go, in 2 minds. Now he's breaking. Too far, says the umpire.
So, their first goal, a free kick to Goodwin.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yep.
So,
close.
Some luck might result in a goal. Griffin. Starting this second term with the opening tap. Has this kick got the carry? Not quite. Scarlett gets up and gets a fist on it.
John Cock loose for the Crows. I think it might be Enright loose for the Cats. Down back.
That breeze looks to have stiffened too, Bruce.
Yep, Ricky saying that the rain coming as well. Goodwin did really well to Burton. Now here's a chance. Burton straight in front, and the Crows do get that early goal and a bit of a lift here.
Well, no defensive unit likes to give up a goal like that. That's a kick from Milburn. Just had too much carry on it for Harley, and a simple turnover and completion there by Burton.
And they need an ounce of luck here, the Cats, the Crows.
They've got the wind behind them. They need to get the next centre clearance. Goodwin was good at the last centre clearance.
Here we go. What a careless kick in that was. Crows everywhere. Bartel at close quarters. Ling had it a while. Gets the hand pass away. Edwards. Thompson, McLeod, kicks down towards half forward. This is encouraging. Was that in the back? Apparently not. Scarlett across the ground. Johnson has to wait. Got there in the nick of time. Corey is breaking. Goes in that direction. Look out. Coming hard was Tawney. He's got some courage. He plays the angles, Corey. It's a dangerous game. This is Burns, 55 metres from goal. Mooney gets some separation. Must be very dark down in that pocket. Rutten lost him completely. Mooney goes across the face of goal. Bartel lurking. Oh, brilliant pickup. Edwards drives it around the other side. Poor Plecia out there with Jericho. It's 2-on-1, but the one does very well. Extremely well.
That was a bad sign there for Rutten a moment ago, though. The way that he got completely lost by Mooney, just put a simple fade on him and away he went.
Mackie getting it across the line there.
Not deliberately, apparently. So Griffin, Thompson missed it. Wojcinski. Interesting with Mooney too, Tim. He's taken two marks in the pocket and he's quickly centred the ball, deciding not to have a shot.
No, get out, 5 metres. Push out.
So back to Wojcinski. And then a high ball. Bartel working. Edwards underneath it. It's just so good, isn't he? In one-on-ones, he's unstoppable as he kicks to the pocket. No free kick for Johnson. Stevens holding him up. Clever Johnson. Toe poke forward. McLeod with the run of it. Oh, terrible handball. And Ling doesn't make him pay, but Steve Johnson.
Go for the ball.
1 against 3, but belted over the line by Stevens. Well, that was unusual for McLeod. He just completely disorientated by the look of it and put Goodwin in an impossible position.
John got to bring it in. Bartel will keep a count on him. 13 possessions now. Short one to the pocket. Edwards. Just getting back on terms, though, the Crows. If they get the next goal, we keep saying that, but they've slowed it up. They've got 2 of the last 3 goals in this game. McLeod, right half back. Generally, though, watching the game, they've been really struggling and really stretched as Bock comes to Rutten.
And there's nothing on here either, Dennis.
No,
nothing on.
And they've got the breeze. This is when they've got to make their run, because if the rain comes, suddenly 21 points would be a very handy advantage. Rutten has been told to play on. He's not breaking any rules.
It's the immovable object from the back pocket. Goes to John Cock in the opposite pocket. Now Tawney is breaking. Not required. A lot of risk in that. Johnson did well. Got a fist on it. Knocked it down. Burns, Enright. Joel Corey steps inside the 50. This will hurt Adelaide. He's offline. So the pain, not severe.
Let's see which way they go this time on the kick out. The last point kick out, they held it up, and then went to the short in the pocket, which Geelong had already given them. So they were setting the trap. They took the bait, and then they couldn't clear. This is better up the guts.
So Edwards now to Thompson. So they've got it outside the defensive 50. It is slow motion. Got to hold their nerve here and then be very accurate. Jericho working up the wing. There's a long kick. Bangs it to Perry. Harley got back. Plecia missed it. And then missed by Burton. The Crows sort of rattling it at the moment. And then awkward by Perry. That was just not good. And then Gill made a contest with Harley. So Adelaide had 3 around it, and they just didn't have the confidence to bring the ball forward with any method.
Well, when Perry kicked that ball, there were 4 loose Geelong players inside their defensive 50.
Boundary throw in. So Mark Thompson, very much the flavour of the month in these parts. Griffin did well off the ground in the opposite direction. Mackie taken down strongly by Goodwin. Plecia dives after the football. King is in there. Spills out the back now to Ling. His kick barely 30 metres. In trouble and taken down is Edwards. Did well, kept his head. Bock gives it away. Thompson towards the middle. Well, not the spot for it. Bartel surrounded by Crows. It came directly to him. That's an untidy kick also. Jericho knocked it down to his own advantage. That's a good kick. Back towards full forward. Harley, timely fist. Bartel another possession. He must wake up in the morning when there's a forecast of rain and you couldn't wipe the smile off with a parking ticket. Mackie comes across to Enright. Short one. This is Milburn.
It's hard going for both teams at the moment. The heavy conditions. Milburn's centering kick is dreadful. So Geelong are not playing much better than Adelaide at this very minute, but they were very good early. Play on. John Cock, who had a terrific opening term against a tidal wave, it seemed at times. Goodwin to Tawney. And then Tawney carefully out wide to Gill. Next kick important, isn't it? Does he use the breeze and go long? He does. Inside the 50. Now Burton a chance. He went to ground. He shouldn't have fallen over. Harley and Egan and Mackie. And then Mackie out wide. So the Cats being challenged here, but they're both going up and down in the one spot for the minute.
The only promising thing for the Crows at the moment is the last 23 minutes of play, they've scored 2 goals to Geelong's 0. So in terms of general play, they're actually leading at the moment, but they need to take the most of their advantages when they go forward. They haven't been able to shake free a winning forward in the early part of this game.
How about that kick by Gill moments ago, though? Didn't it go and go? Here's Bartel again. Wojcinski. Corey having a big game. Ling back to Corey, presenting so well, needed a shepherd. Ling did well, bought him some time inside the forward 50. The Cats stay on their feet. Loose ball right on the 50 now. Kelly went to ground. Over the top comes Rutten. That's holding the ball. No, play goes on. Everyone making a beeline for the other. No one went at the ball. In comes Wojcinski, taken down, but not before he got the hand pass to Mooney. Steps Edwards, gets it to Stokes, feeds it back to Barco. Found some space, Barco, well played. Looking for support, Ablett, Barco. Now Mooney, hard against the boundary line. Kicks it high. Otten's been kept out of the contest eventually. Belatedly got there. Down goes Johnson. Van Burlo got a hand pass away. And Riley kicks for Shirley. Shirley tracks it, awkward bounce, bearing down his Ablett, legged him. Couldn't do that. Ablett gets the free.
He didn't need to go to ground in the first place, Shirley.
And then I think it was a compliment to Ablett's skills that he brought him down, don't you? Because he just knew that he was going to get the footy. He knew he'd fetch it. He worried him out of it, didn't he? So what Adelaide did well a minute ago, though, when the ball was in that forward pocket, they just kept on going against this mighty Geelong outfit. Selwood, he reads it so well. Not such a good handball. Corey forced to really go, and Dars with a good kick to the pocket.
Just a bit cleaner, Milburn, and then Milburn off one step finds Johnson. It would be a real chance from here. Decides to centre, and that's not such a good option.
And right now, Geelong are playing about as well as Adelaide at this very minute. McLeod to Massey. Now, he can go here. Varco's 15 metres behind him. One bounce. Terrible looking kick off the boot. Chance for Paplesia. Now Gill back to Knights. An important kick, and it's a bad one. Just need a goal, Tim, don't they? If they get the next, I know Dennis said this 5 minutes ago, but if they get the next, that's an awful kick by Knights. He had on the right side for him, really should have scored.
Bartel.
Huge shower about to hit here at Skilled Stadium too, which
Harley.
I think is going to suit Adelaide the way they're playing at the moment, and the way Geelong are trying to play.
Mackey's got the footy, Tim. Sorry, Dennis.
Do you feel like you've been tagged by Watson at the moment?
I give up. Demarcation dispute. Bartel's got it. I think he forgot it was a hand pass. He was going back for his kick. It's across the line. Interesting, that shot at goal. Chris Knight's missing everything. He's yet to kick an AFL goal in Victoria. 4 at Amy, 1 at the Gabba.
Gee,
thought you'd like that.
You've got stuff today.
Just wish I was on when he was kicking it, Bruce. Oh, he's animated over here. Riley down inside the 50. Egan comes to it. Perry with him. Egan, it's between his legs. Scramble. There's Knights again. He heard me. Anxious to get the footy, but it does not come out. So the game has fallen away after the high standard set by Geelong in the opening term. Joel Corey, who's been terrific, having a breather. 12 possessions. Bartel, the pacemaker, in front of all comers with 18. John Cock for Adelaide has got 13. Right on the 50, thrown in. That breeze getting stronger and stronger. Bartel, ditto. Selwood puts it out of bounds on the full.
So Douglas to bring it in. Haven't seen a lot of him. Been on the interchange a bit, and he's got Gould short. Decides to go to centre half forward. Egan in the right spot. 3 Geelong up. Marriage. Ooh, couldn't quite bring it back. It's been okay around the goals, Marriage. 5 goals in his 5 games coming in. So Adelaide winning enough of the ball at the moment. Just haven't been able to get that extra goal that might put some scoreboard pressure on the Cats. Scarlett decides to go long. Harley and Otten's a target. Gould there, well read by Selwood. Gee, he's impressive. He will win the Rising Star. Enright's kick to Varco. Good mark. Oh, quickly to Johnson. Just a bit too quick. And then Johnson's kick to centre half forward. Ablett and Massey. Well done by Massey. And then John Cock, who's been outstanding. Back to Massey.
Massey been good as well. He kicks it back to midfield. Awkward bouncing football. Felicia gets the free. This is the most important 10 minutes or so in the game, I would think. Adelaide with a chance to really take it to Geelong. And now 50 metres. That helps.
Okay, Flingy, hanging on again. Okay, it's Cameron Ling holding on.
So a goal here. I think there are only 2 goals who come from free kicks. Both there.
Both Cameron Ling.
So Felicia. In he comes, 35 metres out. And he's kicked it. And they've got the wing behind them. Adelaide, a real chance. Don't worry about that.
There's the first free kick against Johnson. Just holding on to Pleasure. There's the second free kick against Cameron Ling, hanging on to Simon Goodwin. That's been an interesting battle between Ling and also Goodwin.
Pleasure gets the goal. Crows have kicked the last 2. Geelong without a goal in the last 21 minutes. And in the last half hour, it's been 3-1 for the Crows. So back in the game, perhaps, here.
Just a question for Tim. Tim, would you do something weird now, like McLeod under the forward line, down in the goal square or something?
He's going to be a great crummer for him, even though John Cock's been such a good player in defence.
The game plan can be simplified now. They don't really have a winning key forward down there. So it may be something that they consider even in the last quarter if this wind is still a factor.
So Otten's handball to Bartel. Good little toe poke by Rutten. And for Pleasure, Selwood, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Burns inside the 50. Massey, Ablett, clever. Edwards getting back. Oh, he's gone. Oh. He's not gone. Okay. Goodwin back to Bock, to John Cock. And then John Cock to Tawney. So they might have been a bit lucky there, the Crows. Or this is... No, it's okay to Marriage.
So Adelaide getting out of danger for the moment, and then Scarlett just
crunching Massey. There's a bad kick by Marriage. Setting Massey up.
Just further to Dennis's point, at the moment they've got 5 marking targets inside their forward line. Each of those targets are being covered, so it's not a game plan that's really working in these conditions.
And if the rain comes, it will negate the breeze. There's no question about that as Burns goes down towards half forward. There's the man we speak of, McLeod, who kicks it directly to Wattens, who dropped the mark, got the hand pass away. Corey's hand pass. Goodwin was quick. Riley kicks from the wing inside the forward 50. Harley under pressure. Burton leads back. Here comes another one for the Crows.
Having said that, Dennis, if they get the ball in there quickly enough to one-on-one contest like they did on this occasion, here's a long kick by Riley. That's a kick from the wing, and that carries that one-on-one contest there between Harley and Burton over the top. He loses his feet, and this is a simple goal to Burton. But up until this point, they haven't really had a marking player in their forward line. They haven't taken a mark inside their 50 this afternoon. It's 9 to Geelong, 0 to Adelaide.
Well, it's an intrigue, isn't it now? The Cats being challenged. There's been a mighty effort by Adelaide. Ottens handballing out of the ruck. Stokes got a bad bounce, and then Goodwin goes with a long bomb. Punch away from Scarlett. Adelaide with a real sniff here.
Milburn did well. Back to Scarlett. And then handball just missing Johnson, but he was able to get it to Bartel. Gill was very, very good. Bartel, well, he did well too. Back to Enright, who missed it. But then he provided a shepherd for Corey. Then Corey to one-on-one. Now, Ling did so well on Goodwin. And then Milburn's handball to Selwood. He'll straighten up and go to Nathan Ablett.
Wonderful football, Geelong.
They did that beautifully. The way Bartel won the ball in the first place at half-back was just stunning.
Nathan Ablett into the breeze, stops and starts and uncertain, and then wobbles it.
Mooney, Varco, Mooney goes back to Burns, who's a left footer, goes back to Mooney, and then Cam hooks it back, and Goodwin, who's leading from the front. It's a probing kick to Stevens, but well done by Joel Corey as we go down to Ricky Olorenshaw.
Yeah, just an injury concern for Geelong. Tom Harley come off the ground just after Burton kicked that goal. He's got probably his left shin. He had some work done at quarter time, and now he's gone to the rooms with the physio to get that work done again. 9 points the margin then. And what we've seen this afternoon, remarkable. Ottens slung it out of the pack directly to Riley, who comes down towards half forward. Burton and Mackie. That's out of bounds.
Over possessing the ball at the moment, the Cats. I reckon Bomber Thompson half-time. He's saying, listen, boys, in these conditions, it's not showtime. Bobby Davis and Neil Curley having a giggle about something.
It's a bit of a forced smile from Bob at the moment. Things have changed.
They've had almost as many handballs, the Cats, as they have had kicks.
Griffin battling there with Ottens. Behind the pack, Knights to Riley. Gill almost tracks it away from half-board. Untidy hand pass. Going after it, Scarlett. Thompson's got him, takes him down with help from Portfleischer, who may have been whacked in the head. He's slow to get up, and will have a bounce 60 metres out. The margin was 27 points at quarter time. Geelong on top. More the way they played than what was on the scoreboard. Bartel at the base of the pack just falls limply on the football. It's not coming out. But bear in mind, the breeze not a factor in the first term. There was hardly any breeze. So in that respect, Adelaide have been very lucky. This breeze has really sprung up.
Gill unlucky not to get a free kick there.
Chopping of the arm, but not paid. Portfleischer hasn't got it out, and he's gone for holding the ball. Well, it's a tough rule, but he did take it. Heard the umpire. Now Corey to the run of Ablett. They do this so often, Geelong, and so effectively, and then Ablett gets it inside the 50 to a one-on-one, but Rotten got away too easily on Mooney, and then McLeod realised he didn't have an option this side, so he went out wide to Stevens. And Adelaide's poise under pressure down back has been really impressive in this quarter.
It has improved. So too is their clearance work. It's now 6-all this quarter, so they've been able to
At least get back even with the Cats. They were smashed in that first quarter. So Stevens off half back gets it to Gould, and then Perry, who's had a quiet afternoon, couldn't quite get into the contest, and then Scarlett. That was a good effort by Griffin to smother it out of play.
Well, Geelong has not been behind at half-time in this streak of 13 wins. They were level, I think it was with the Crows, actually, in Adelaide, but in the other 12 occasions they've been in front. So Adelaide with a chance here of being right up with them again.
I don't think their defence gets too exposed if McLeod pushes forward. Stokes is actually playing on him. Turned Stokes into a defender for the last period of time in this quarter, just to see whether or not he can handle that role.
5.5 minutes out from half-time. Griffin did well. Corney's got it. Adelaide's got the free. Well, Corney was away. Not sure why they brought it back. Riley's got it. He's been handy in the last few minutes. Very talented player. Has all the bits. Kicks inside the forward 50.
Why would you want to go out there?
Yeah, well, that's right.
Why would you want to go out there? In these conditions, light rain falling, wind.
Yeah. Not a good bit. Throw it in. Griffin reaching over the top. King. Thompson's hand pass smothered. Joel Corey trying to do the right thing. Riley. King to make amends. Ablett buried. Gets a free kick. Ablett wasting no time. Characteristic fashion comes out to Stokes. Over the top with Chinsky. Needs to be careful. Well done, Gill. Holding the ball. Advantage play to Adelaide. Bock across the ground. There you see the replay. Meantime, back at the game, Jericho's got the football.
He can kick it a long way, and I just think that should be the go here. And he goes towards the Burton territory, but no fly.
They have to get a contest.
Push out. Play on.
Scarlett. Milburn. Stokes goes early and short, and then Milburn's going to go to Steve Johnson. Knights to try and go with him, and Bock to come across, and McLeod just over the line. Geelong has not had a scoreless quarter this season. Now we've still got 4 minutes to go, but they're still sitting on 5 goals. Adelaide with a real chance here to be right with the Cats at half-time. They probably need one more goal, you would think. Thompson got it from Knights.
High ball towards half-forward Burton. No real conviction in the lead. Over the ball, Edwards. In goes Gill. A lot to like about Gill. We'll have the ball up.
He's competitive, isn't he? And he's actually got a bit of pace for a big guy too. I'd like to see, Edwards just came on the ground, and even if he was to play inside the 50 at the moment, he's such a clever player at ground level. If it's not McLeod...
Knock it out. Play on.
Knocked down by King. Very few players look dangerous on Matthew Scarlett. Gill is doing that at the present time. Mind you, he runs like a professor specialising in Egyptian antiquities.
Never seen one of those.
Just wants to run next time. There goes the kick down towards half forward. Bartel knocks it towards the line. Across goes Stokes. And I think Edwards held on with compassion.
He did. He did the right thing.
Had he let him go, it's slippery down there. He could have gone crashing into the fence. Well done, Tyson Edwards.
Douglas has snuck onto the ground. No one's picked him up yet. Scarlett's going to him now.
It's on Australian, that interchange. We'll have a ball up.
They'll make the adjustment now. Scarlett will go to one of the marking players, and Milburn will come across and pick Douglas up. Playing the panic, Adelaide. All the forwards have pushed up to half forward.
And a couple of extra men up there. Van Berlo. And again a ball up.
Mackey's now gone to Burton too. Burton turned Harley inside out, so Bomber Thompson had seen enough then. He's shifted the much quicker Mackey onto him.
So Shirley, the extra man up. Riley, clever kick actually, had nowhere to go, had to squeeze it. Perry just being out muscled today. Egan. Selwood. Well, that was clever, and it was a poor tackle. He just drew the high tackle. He had nowhere to go, and if the Crows just probably had to lay off him, Egan having a terrific season and a very good match. But the Cats without a goal, and as I said earlier, they haven't had a goalless term this year. McLeod put Shirley under the pump, and then Knights got it from Edwards, and then Stokes gets Knights. Well,
what could he have done?
That's a tough call.
What could he have done?
Let it go now. You had a chance. You should have taken it. Play on.
Well, there you go. You had a chance. You should have taken it. Ablett over the top to his brother, and then Nathan Ablett, left foot to the goal front. Where's Ling? He's at the back. John Cock belts it away. Jericho.
And then a long ball, Burton versus Mackey. He's trying to turn Mackey inside out. Clever play. Gained about 50 metres. Everybody running back. There's no one inside that forward 50. Wojcinski, a strong shepherd, bought some time for Johnson. Goes to Mackey. Milburn back to Johnson. Wonderful defensive football. Kelly just forward at the wing. Spots a man in open space and gives it to Burns. Burns 80 metres from goal. Too much carry on the kick. John Cock has done well. Got boot to ball. Van Berlo. Brilliant to John Cock. McLeod comes away. Goes to half back. Edwards has got it. Lays it off to Knights. Knights goes for distance. The two most forward men again compete. Nobody behind them. Egan got the crumb.
King, Egan, sold himself into trouble. Enright sees Johnson, comes across the ground. Johnson tracks it back. Kicks down towards half forward. Ablett. Nathan Ablett. Well done, Rutten. Getting a hand in there. Now, he wanted to play on.
Don't look for him, mate. Go have your mark.
He wanted to play on then because Scarlett was cruising past. Rutten was aware of that, got a hand on the football initially.
Two plays, mate. You've got to be 5 metres away. Hold it there, Nathan.
These pesky Ablets.
Gary, 5 metres.
Gary Ablett averaging...
5 metres away, Gary.
Try again. Gary Ablett's averaging 17 handball receives in the last 3 weeks. That's what he does. Runs around the back. Trying to get a handball. There's Scarlett just getting involved.
Adelaide may be a bit unlucky not to get a free there.
Scarlett can't do that, can he?
No.
Did.
Only when the umpire's not looking.
Nathan Ablett. That'll fall in short. Knight's on his chest. Not much percentage in that kick. Edwards comes away. Spots Rutten.
So the Crows are standing up to Geelong here pretty well. Goodwin over the line. We're hoping to talk to Simon Goodwin as they leave the ground at half-time, the Crows. That's Ricky's big job in the next half a minute. Do you reckon he's up for it?
Yes, yes.
So Griffin and Ottens. Selwood's been outstanding to Burns, and then Burns teasing a bit to Stokes to Enright, forced to kick in a hurry. John Cock was wonderful there. He has played a first half. McLeod couldn't quite, and then unluckily he gives away a free kick. Stokes went to ground. Quick handball out. Scarlett, do they get the goal they've been searching for? They do. That's really going to hurt. What a way to finish the first half. Scarlett banging it home. And Geelong get a goal on the siren. But Adelaide made good progress in that second quarter with the breeze. And it's still game on, but boy, that is handy. Down to you, Rick.
Slow start to the game. You really worked yourself back into it, but disappointed that late goal.
Yeah, it was disappointing. They just got one at the end there, but the boys are fighting hard and we're still in this game by a long way.
He looked a lot more direct and through the corridor in that quarter.
Yeah, just got to get it going forward in these conditions. It's pretty wet underfoot, and that's the way it's going to be all game.
And that win, is it much of an advantage down that end?
Yeah, it is a little bit of an advantage, so we're going to have to work hard in the third quarter.
Yeah, good on you, Goody. Thanks, mate.
Thanks for that, Simon. So Scarlett's first goal for the season is a beauty. And at half-time, the team that's top of the table are making the running but being challenged. It's 41-26.
Just wait here, I'll be 2 secs.
It's easy to get your footy fix fast with AFL video highlights on the Nokia 6120 Classic and the Telstra Next G network.
What do you think?
Awesome.
Really?
You look good.
Ask for a demonstration at Telstra shops today.
Technology is made easy at Harvey Norman. Record, connect and play with a new high-definition camcorder from Harvey Norman. Simply connect your camera and in an instant share all your favourite videos and photos. Come into Harvey Norman and let us show you the ease of Blu-ray. Just insert, press play and enjoy the high-definition picture and sound experience. Time Shift personal video recorders are so easy to use. You won't miss a minute of the action with rich, fine detail, high-definition looks and sounds like you're in the picture. At Harvey Norman, we'll show you how.
No city appreciates a sporting occasion like Melbourne. Grand Final Day is the ultimate. For a player, there's no greater thrill than running onto the G. For the football aficionado, the ultimate Grand Final experience is inside Centre Square. World-class hospitality and a prime seat at the game make Centre Square the ultimate way for you and your clients to enjoy one of the great days in world sport. Don't miss your chance to access the ultimate Grand Final experience. Find out more at centresquare.com.au.
intérêt à en prendre plus.
Bunnings Warehouse hard hits as seen on Fox Sports.
Gibbs, Carlton could be in front in a moment. Favola has the sit here with Fletcher. Hard man to beat Fletcher. Two of them down and hurt. Got plenty of it. Here's the clash. Oh, Mark Johnson, Brendan Favola. Eyes only for the footy, both of them. Kick the ball. I wonder how that might impact on the match. Bad miss.
The AFL hard hits is brought to you by Bunnings Warehouse.
See Tom Harley out there. Let's go down to Ricky. He had some problems in the first half, the captain.
Yeah, he did go off just before half-time into the rooms to get some treatment on a shin that he got knocked in the first quarter. Good news is the club said he's okay, going to start there at full-back. And on the weather conditions, looks like the storm has gone around us, and there's a little bit of blue sky now, and the wind has dropped a little bit. Still favouring Geelong end, but it's definitely dropped.
It certainly has. Looking at the flags, it's fallen away. So Adelaide could be blessed this afternoon. Strengthened in the second term, and you take those advantages. 6-5, 4-2.
Knock it out, fellas. Don't hold, don't block it.
Second half Sunday football. Stakes are high, particularly for the Adelaide Crows. Ottens at the second attempt, poked forward by Goodwin. Corey, 18 possessions now, having a wonderful afternoon. Milburn down towards half forward. Mark is taken by Stevens. John Cock, who's been terrific. Back to Stevens. They stay off him, so the big man goes for a gallop. Pushes up the middle, kicks to half forward. Some pushing down there. Scarlett got a fist on it, knocked it away. Knights went to ground. Douglas falling to the ground, kicks inside the 50. Perry snaps towards goal. This will run on. Perry's kick is a goal. Ox, what have you done?
Well, David Schwartz said it at halftime. He needed to pick up his work rate. He needed to get involved in this game, and that's exactly what he did. Egan met the ball solidly, but it just bobbled out of his hands, and Perry was able to grasp it and then just screw it onto his left boot. That's the start that Adelaide needed. They've got a spare player across half-back. It's John Cock. He'll be opposed to Milburn, who's a spare for the Cats across half-back. Both those players featured in the play in that first passage of play after half-time.
Tim, you feel like that goal cancels out the Scarlett one just on half-time, don't you? We're back where we were. So that's a bonus. He wanted to give off Perry, but decided not to. Bartell again. And John Cock again. Well, John Cock growing and growing here in this match. And Bartell, well, he started with a bang. That one just not so good from John Cock.
It becomes a battle between John Cock and also Milburn across half-back for the Cats. Who can set up the play and initiate play more?
They're the two Lucy's, aren't they? Corey's been not far behind Bartell, and he's kicked out wide, giving Mooney a lovely ride, quickly on to Ottens, and then Ottens a bit of an up and under. Kelly read it best. So Geelong get it inside 50 in a hurry here, and Kelly decides to square it, and there is Milburn.
He's pushed out from half-back. They're really good at this, the Cats, and you wonder why the opposition sides aren't awake to the fact that every time a player takes a ball on an acute angle, they're looking to square the ball up and come back inside. They've done it time and time again today.
He's the only 30-year-old out there for the Cats. He's playing his 64th consecutive game, so he's been durable as well as being very good, and he's made good contact, Milburn, but just to the near side. So Geelong being challenged now on the scoreboard as well as on the field. Remember, they made a lightning start today. They put on a clinic for the first quarter of an hour. It was pretty to watch.
Sun getting brighter, and so too Adelaide's hopes here. John Cock has rarely made a mistake. Concedes a behind.
They'll reset.
I think back to that draw we saw a couple of weeks ago, the number of times sides gave away the behind. I wonder if they discussed that. Goodwin in the back pocket. Having a great season, even by his lofty standards. Clever kick too. John Cock has pushed up the ground, has it close to the boundary line, and then proceeds to put it out of bounds on the full, does he? Tawney tries to keep it in. At least touch it going across the line. Nothing doing. Milburn wants every metre. Pops it back short. Corey again. Kicks inside the forward 50. Shirley reaching over the top. Got a fist on it. Johnson taken high. He'll get the free. Steve Johnson. And this kick not beyond him if he decides to go for goal.
He'll try and square it up, I reckon, Dennis. Adelaide need to be more alert this time.
That cross. Sorry, Tim.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's a really low position shot at goal, but if anyone can kick it, this bloke can.
He might have the licence. Sets it up. Now that breeze is inhaling it. He had the breeze to kick the goal. He kicked the goal.
He is a prodigious talent, and I reckon you're right, Dennis. I reckon Bomber Thompson probably has said to him at some stage, look, if you think you can kick it, go for it. This is a miraculous kick in these conditions. He just understood the wind perfectly, set the ball up. This is a really great angle of the shot. Just sat the ball up high, knew the ball would drift on the wind, and it did the rest.
Well, after the ban they put on him, he came in for the Richmond game. They won by 157 points. He hasn't played in a losing team, and he's kicked a goal now in every game he's played, Johnson. What a story. Knights gets it from Goodwin. Back to Van Berlo, forced to hook around. Scarlett free kick.
And Bomber Thompson said, no, I don't want Adelaide to have a free player across half-back, so he sent another player forward now, so John Cock's going to be engaged.
Do you reckon Gill and Scarlett have discussed their hairstyles today? They look a bit similar. Corey gets it and then chips it, but Gary Ablett just left it, and there was a Crow mopping up, and John Cock, who's kicked a couple out in the fall in this quarter, but he has been outstanding. Finds Perry, who's made a better start. Burton goes to ground and then threw it away.
Tunnel ball.
That's better from Perry, though, to push up high like that and become involved in the game. The umpire just disagreeing with Burton. Burton said, I slapped it back, and he said, no, tunnel ball. So Ottens, haven't seen much of King, have we, around the ground? Ottens is kicking up good, and McLeod. Back to Goodwin, and then Burton always the target. He went early, and then slow motion Ottens to Nathan Ablett. Well, is that holding the ball?
Just explain that rule again to me, Bruce.
Well, Chris Knight's got pinged in the first half for something so similar.
Led the umpire insisting they make an effort, and that time at least, even if it wasn't Dinkum, Nathan Ablett was banging away like Charlie Watts. A great stone. Up there with Wilmer and Fred. There goes the kick from Griffin inside the forward 50. At the back, Harley got a fist on it. Here's Gill again. The prof could have been taken high. Gets a hand pass out. Van Berlo steps outside the 50, kicks it back in. Burton, how clever! How clever! Reminiscent of Graham Farmer there, Tim. The early jump confuses them.
He jumped early. There's a free kick there to Gill too high against Scarlett. Van Berlo just saw Burton just leading to the space, kicked it up high. He jumped early, got Harley out of the way first, and then took the easy grab. That's their first mark this afternoon, the Adelaide Crows, inside their attacking 50.
Old-timers at this ground this afternoon, thinking back to their last premiership in '63. Could remember Polly doing that. Probably not that. Burton kicks it behind.
To Mackie. To Harley. So the Cats
Still in the defensive 50, but they've been able to... Well, now they can see, but Bartel's kick's a beauty. He got it from Egan. And running hard now is Enright out wide. Johnson. McLeod read it very well. To John Cock. And then Tawney. Did very well there, Tawney. Just sold a dummy to Steve Johnson, and that's not easy to do, and Douglas takes a good mark down low. Game at an interesting stage, I reckon, Tim.
Yeah, I don't think the wind's a factor at all now in this game either. What's that last... Look at this long kick it's carrying.
Oh, Ottens was a huge fly, and then Burton off the ground, and Adelaide get it to the left forward pocket.
Those kicks to the right of screen in the first quarter are actually holding up. Now they're carrying, so I think Adelaide have got as much chance of scoring in this quarter as Geelong has.
Little camera problem there. Everything sorted. Like one of those on-demand views. Just pick out your favourite player. Behind.
This is where they've been better than Adelaide, getting the ball cleared from this point kick in. Though Adelaide looked to have them held up this time.
Selwood jabs it up the middle. Egan. Game now being played in bright sunshine. Enright back in the team to Scarlett. Loves this situation. Pushes beyond half back. Kicks to half forward. Strong fist over the top there from Bock. Got it forward. Taken by Perry, who feeds it back. John Cock, Massey. Now Gill. Meters in the clear on the outer side. Perry. They've got 3-on-1 out there. Bock has it. Still Bock. That's ambitious, but he's clear. Kicks inside the forward 50. Otten's the best man. Possession, certainly. And turns out to be the best man. Took the mark to Scarlett. To Johnson. He's at left half back. Game still in the balance. Johnson, that's a terrible kick. The man who kicked that freakish goal moments ago kicked it straight to Tony, who gave it to Goodwin. Scarlett with courage. Didn't know who was coming. It was his teammate Tom Harley, but it wasn't to know that. It was a wonderful mark. Enright got it from Mackie. Spears the pass into Mooney.
This bit of play Geelong have done in this half, but not such a good kick by Mooney.
Took his hands! He took his hands early, Darren!
They're having real trouble penetrating half forward at the moment, the Cats, and Adelaide are getting a lot of rebound. If they can actually just make it productive rebound, they're right in this game.
Gill had to search for it a bit, and then quickly on inside the 50. Porplesia read it best. He's a very good overhead mark. He's a little shaky going for goal from a set shot. We saw him kick one in the second quarter where he kept it pretty low. Missed a couple against the Power last week.
At the moment, it's a battle between the two sides as to who can actually find a way inside their 50.
Took 4 contested marks against Port Adelaide last week in similar conditions. Well, important that Adelaide don't miss these. Burton missed one earlier, and Porplesia has kicked it badly. That's his method. He just leans back always and doesn't really kick through. So that's a bad miss after a very clever mark. Bartell's been wonderful. Finds Mackie.
Clever kick to Mackie. Well, not paid the mark. He juggled it to the ground. And the crowd not very happy about that. One man, the other side of the fence, took his beanie off it and threw it in disgust.
Bounced off your chest. Bounced off your chest.
Oh, pretty tough call. Umpire throws it up. Marriage did well. Porplesia got the hand pass towards Thompson. Sliding in Goodwin. Wonderful class. And again, McLeod. Porplesia needed McLeod to run on, but he was on the ground. And it's a free kick, I think, going to Bartell.
I've seen players do 720s and handball the ball out and still get away with it.
Don't get technical. There's Bartell from half back. Just a bad break there for Adelaide. Porplesia thought that McLeod was running on, realised he wasn't, had to hang on to the football. Milburn's kick bounced off the chest of Mooney. Burns is through, goes with the right boot. This will be interesting. Massey and Ablett. Massey and Ablett still battling. Well, Massey got the support of Edges with a football. Gave it to McLeod. Terrific by the Crows. Wonderful kick coming out. Now a chance as they storm up the ground. The kick from Riley. Got it from Stevens. Perry on his chest. Burton is running back. Wants it long. Kick it as far as you can. That's the way towards the pocket. Gill off hands. Burton steps and misses. Can only tell him, Tim.
Gee, McLeod's kick, as you called it, Dennis, was absolutely brilliant. Coming out of defence, he set all of that up. But Adelaide with a real chance there, and they've missed a couple of shots for goal. Mackie's kick is a beauty.
Oh, Varco.
Mooney to Varco now. John Cock won't get there. And Varco, but he's deep in the pocket.
He's pushed him wide.
And he's going to come back to Mooney, who's within range.
And how many times have we seen them do that? This is why they are the #1 marking side inside 50, Geelong, because they do that. They open up the goal face with some clever kicks. Good sign for Adelaide, though. This quarter, the contested possession, they're in front 13-6, so they're doubled Geelong, so their work rate's good.
Tim, they've had the last 4 scoring shots, but they've been 4 behinds. This hurts if he goals. Hasn't had one today so far, Mooney. Like that off the boot.
as Tommy Hafey used to say, it's all in the kicking. That's what it is. You get the ball inside the 50 and you make it count. And that's the difference in this quarter, as you said, Bruce. This is the first kick that went too wide to Varco. That was a low percentage position to actually put him in. But just quick thinking and slow thinking there by the Adelaide defence. That player should have been picked up then. They should never allow that. That wasn't even a really clean drop on the ball onto from hand to foot there for Mooney. But he made clean contact.
So the margin 19 points. Adelaide will finish on the breeze. Conditions getting better, but the breeze has got a lot weaker since the second term. Brilliant stuff. Corey bursts away, got it from King's tap, but the kick was too tall for Selwood. Well done by Massey initially. He's still tracking this ball up the ground. Bartel gets the kick inside the forward 50. Johncock goes back, and that was a courageous mark. Lays it off to Bock. Tawney is breaking, goes in that direction. Tawney's got it outside the defensive 50 then. Steps around Milburn, but then decides to stay. Settles across half back for the moment. How about that? To Bock.
Didn't like what he saw.
No. He'd done the hard stuff. He'd got around Milburn. He'd sent him the wrong way and then just stopped. Bock. Well, this has come out of the blue. Edwards has got it.
Well, they've really put pressure on themselves here, haven't they? They had the chance to go forward, and now they've allowed Geelong to press on them.
Riley fires it in hard. Marriage thought about going. That defies team policy at the moment. Marriage. Oh, filling nobody with confidence, and Rutten had to stretch, and only his class got him through. So just imagine, think back to where Tawney first got the mark. It was about 25 metres away. Rutten comes back to Bock.
Come back that step.
Crowd getting a little restless, but of course when their team does it, they love it. Bock to Johncock. Love may be overstating it, but you know what I mean. Johncock goes back. Bock's got it again.
These possessions shouldn't be counted in modern day football. This is just junk, isn't it? Junk time.
Well, at the moment they're going backwards. He's had about 5 possessions. He kicks close to the boundary line, and after that, what an anticlimax! It's out on the full.
About 14 possessions to absolutely get nowhere.
Ablett to Steve Johnson, and Steve Johnson finds Mooney. Well, if the last one hurt, this one's going to really sting, isn't it?
Well, you almost think they deserve that. They had the opportunity to go forward. The first kick out of defence about 15 possessions ago was the one where they actually had to roll on. They had one-on-one contest all the way down the ground.
Well, Tawney decided not to do that. So, can he kick it for the second time from exactly the same spot, Mooney? He's let them off the hook a bit, but they might be a bit nervous bringing it out right now, the Crows. They need some positive play. Well, that was better because it was quick. They've actually kicked it out on the full of 3 times in this term. Twice Johncock. And Bock a moment ago. It was a Bock or Rutten. I think it was Bock.
I reckon they've allowed the momentum actually to swing back Geelong's way too.
So Rutten. Now, Tawney's wide this way. So Goodwin to change, but he gets it wide to Massey, but it's not very far from the Geelong goal still. Riley's wide if he wants to go there.
We're going to cough up again.
Oh, and this is the high ball. And Geelong are in the box seat. Perry did make a good contest. Goodwin read it well.
Ooh,
puts it into the corridor. This will be interesting. Tawney, can he use it? He wants Paul Pleasure. He's got him. Now he should kick a goal. No, he decides to go short, and that's not a good kick. He really had to run on and go bang and kick a goal. It was there for the taking.
You're right, you're spot on, Bruce. It was just an incorrect decision on his behalf. They're lucky to get the break in the first time after the long kick to the pack.
They're not being brave enough, are they?
No, they're not bold enough at all.
Stokes, the searching lead, gets the Harley kick. Mackey was the man who cut the pass off moments ago. Stokes close to the boundary. And here's Johnson. 20 points the difference, approaching 3/4 time. And Adelaide, strange to relate, after Mooney got that goal and they went short and backwards and eventually put it out of bounds on the full, still had the feeling that it was Adelaide who were dictating the terms to that moment.
He's hurt himself too, Ablett. Let's just get a shot of him over there on the boundary line. He's limping.
So the Crows may have tempoed themselves out of form, at least momentarily. Suddenly uncertainty is very much a part of their game. Here's Riley, run down by Bartel. It was a strong tackle. Ling under pressure, kicks to midfield. Barco comes up, slips it away. In trouble, Stokes. Slung, didn't have the football.
Relax it. Ball goes back.
Burns will get the kick. Wasting no time, back to Barco. Enright, 50 metres out. That is a terrific kick. About 10 rows back.
He's a good player, Enright, a really good player. Averages over 20 touches, played in defence today, can push up into the midfield, can play as a wingman, knows how to win the ball, timed that beautifully. Actually didn't strike that ball so beautifully off the foot, it just wobbled its way to the goals, but he had plenty of momentum. It run from half back, and that really hurts the Crows.
I feel like they've got the safety net up again now when you look at the score, don't you? 26 points. Adelaide need another goal quickly. They've had enough of the footy. Their decision-making's let them down, and Enright made them pay in the end. Corey got it to Bartel, to Johnson, did very well, was clever, and there's a lovely kick to Mooney, running hard. Well, that was brilliant. A touch of genius.
We're giving the benefit of the doubt?
Yeah, he saw Selwood.
That was a cross in the box. Just watch this again. He had a look. He did have a look. You're quite right.
When you see something magical, don't take it away. And he kicked the goal. The best assist of the year.
I thought he just kicked that in hope, but you're right. He had a quick look. He saw that Selwood had run to there. There's a quick look. And there's the centre, and he actually struck it beautifully too, and there's Selwood.
The only disappointing thing, Tim, is it wasn't Steve Johnson.
Well, he's been watching Steve Johnson at training, and there's his reaction too. He's happy with his work. Well, there's a look. Bang. Strikes the ball beautifully, gets a lovely spin on it.
Ah, that was wonderful. Suddenly Cam Mooney morphed into Wayne Rooney. A fantastic centre with the side of the foot, and Selwood was the beneficiary. Back in the middle. Slipping away from Adelaide now, and they've got to blame themselves to a certain extent, but confidence is rising for the Cats. Corey, another possession, got it from Selwood. Burton's in trouble, socket off the ground by Stokes. Barco leads in the race. John Cock, ever reliable, just corralled him. It's out of bounds.
Burton's been pushed into defence as a free player, just to hold things up for the next 5 minutes so they can start to try and win some momentum back.
Throw it in. Over the top was Edwards. Barco got it, taken down.
You get the feeling, though, it has been self-inflicted, this. They had the opportunity to go hard and to go forward and to attack, and they weren't bold enough.
It really cost them. They forfeited what they've been doing. Just put that to one side as Mooney gets on the end of this one. In his pocket. Comes across the ground to Kelly. He owns that pocket, does Mooney.
Isn't that a great example, though, from one of your senior players? He's crossed the ball. We'll count that last one 3 times this afternoon. And that's the difference between the old Geelong and the new Geelong.
Kelly, just 25 metres out, puts it through. In the space of 10 power pack minutes, Adelaide seemed down and gone.
And they do have this capacity, Geelong, to blow sides away with withering spells of football in a 10. There's another beautiful tap there by Ottens. That's just wonderful work. And that was intended there by Selwood, just repaying Mooney, who crossed to him last time. Just a screw punt across the corner, and there's Mooney. Had two options. He could have gone to Ling in the goal square. You can see him in the bottom of the screen. Burton wasn't quite sure which player to go to. But they are an unselfish side. They work for each other.
Scarlett and Mooney, down to you, Rick.
Well, Timmy mentioned it, Gary Ablett was carrying some sort of injury. It's just a very light cork. He hasn't had any treatment, so he looks okay. And a big round of applause when Cameron Mooney and Matthew Syke come off the ground.
Well, they've replicated what they did in the first quarter, Geelong, haven't they? That 3-goal burst here is very similar to how they did it in the first term. And now Selwood goes to full forward. I think it's a free kick to Scott Stevens. So let's see if Adelaide can take the shackles off themselves here. Now, they're so far down, they're just forced to attack a bit, aren't they? Shirley to Van Berlo to Rutten. So good at that, Rutten, when he's in his pomp. But King getting a timely fist in on Griffin.
And he's battling it out for a position in the side with Blake. But on today's performance, you'd almost think that Blake is a better option. He's only had 3 touches, King. His ruck work's probably been the feature of his game. It's been a good performance from him and Ottens.
Just his 4th game for the season for Stephen King. Edwards had it smothered off the boot. Riley couldn't quite. Shirley to Thompson, who's had a quiet game. Perry the target. Oh, courage shown by the Cats, but Perry did well. And then Jericho strolls in and gets a goal. And the Cats still down there.
Could be Johnson, I think. Is it?
Yep.
David Johnson. Now, all you want from your forwards, that's courageous play there by Johnson to come into that contest, not knowing what's coming the other way. We've seen him display courage on numerous occasions. This is all you need from a key forward, and that is a contest. Here we go again. Johnson coming in from the side. There's the contest. There's the spillage, and there's poor Pleasure at ground level. And Johnson still taking a long time to get up.
Here we go.
Margin 32 points. Around the stoppages, you can see that Geelong have put their mark on this term. Ling, he got it from Corey, kicks down towards the 50. Milburn came stumbling out. Some suggestion he was assisted. Bob kicks it up towards the wing. At the interchange gates, Jericho kept it going the Crows' way. Riley to half forward. Working hard down there was Perry. Controlled it to the ground. Poor Pleasure's got the run of it. Goes to Edwards. Metres in the clear right on the 50 vacant square. Thompson goes back with Harley. Must be a Thompson free kick. No. Oh, gee whiz.
Was that? No, I think he's probably paid the right decision in the end. It looked like he got him over the shoulder. What a wonderful handball by Paul Pleasure.
Brilliant.
That was magnificent.
I wonder if the Edwards kick was going to go through for a goal had Thompson been able to do the shepherd. It was probably too far away. G. McLeod was clever there, and then Stevens just stopped him a bit. Van Berlo to Johncock. Switches back to Bock. Back to Stevens, and then forced to hurry the kick to the boundary line. He wants the line. Egan keeps it in, and then goes back inboard to Selwood. Such an accomplished first-year player.
And they shouldn't be afraid to go forward now, Adelaide, either. They've got a 5-on-5 in their forward line.
So Bartel is getting close to that mark of 30 that Dennis talked about. He's up to 28. Never had more than 30 against the Crows.
Move it on now! Move it on!
So in the last minute, a goal either way you think would make a difference here. McLeod took a while. Edwards to Johncock, who's had a great day. Jericho kicked the goal. Good mark. I just feel like Jericho could make a play, don't you? He kicks it well, he can mark it, he's an athlete. It's a good long kick to centre-half forward. But Pleasure to fly. Good mark. Now he's been missing these shots.
He's got some tricks this bloke too, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah. As you said, that handball a moment ago was outstanding.
Average players just can't complete tasks like that.
Well, this will be the last kick for the quarter. Kicked a goal in the second. He missed one closer than this. Cats to get their Big Ben back. You reckon if he kicks this, Adelaide have got a chance? They would have got the last 2 goals of the quarter. They would have got 3 goals into the breeze. He's 50 out. He's tumbled it. It's an awful kick. It's the part of his game he has to improve. At three-quarter time, the number one team in the competition leads 74-43.
Introduces the new Aristona Cultus. Deeply different. See the complete range in store now. And for a limited time only, free delivery and install. Bonus 5-year total warranty and 30-day money-back guarantee.
Since workplace reform, over 300,000 small businesses have started up, and more people are employed in small business than ever before. But what will happen if workplace reform is scrapped? Workers and businesses will have their ability to choose taken away.
And every small business in Australia will have to stand back if unions get new legal powers to tell them how to run their business. So let's keep workplace reform.
Authorised by R. Crawford, National Business Action Fund Limited, Canberra.
Kellogg's Sultana brand is more than just the cereal kids love to eat. In fact, one bowl of Sultana brand gives an 8-year-old over a third of their daily fibre needs, along with the goodness of juicy sultanas. With a nourishing breakfast, they can take on anything. Kellogg's Sultana brand. Success starts at breakfast.
Homer eats Whopper, takes 75. Action!
Ow! Ow! Double meat, double cheese, double bacon.
3-second rule. Cut. Cut.
What? I get sweaty when I eat.
Double meat, double cheese, double...
Monday. It isn't Monday anymore. I don't want to hear you say you don't like Monday. You do. Now you do. You love Monday. You love it as much as you love your nan, and you know she loves it. Because it's like Saturday, like Sunday, except it's still called Monday, but it's so much more.
Look at him go, look at him go. Does it have the legs? It does. Talk about quality. Oh, you've got to love your league.
It's about live footy. It's about the blokes you love and the blokes you love to hate. It's about your team.
Oh, put a cape on his back, doesn't he love it? Well, how good is it?
The march is on. It's about Billy Live, Willie Live, Greg and Noddy and Princey Live, Lockie and the Gronk.
What magic hands! Oh, not again! What a finish! Oh, what a tackle! What a moment!
And every week we're going to play it again, Hasm, live, reclaim Monday. Go mad for it, because Monday just isn't Monday anymore.
The toughest tennis series on earth is live on Fox Sports.
Oh, what a rally. One corner to the other. Absolute perfection. Brilliant. Absolutely sensational.
The ATP's North American road trip hits the show courts of Cincinnati, and the pressure's on to find some Grand Slam form.
Oh, brilliant. Marvelous point from both players.
The ATP Masters Series live from Cincinnati starts Tuesday on Fox Sports 2.
Absolutely brilliant. So three-quarter time at School Stadium. Adelaide challenging, but making a mess of it in that term.
And at Geelong with a couple of brilliant bursts. Mooney was right in the middle of them, wasn't he? With a touch of genius to get it back to Selwood at one stage. And the Cats with a 3-goal burst in the first quarter and then a 3-goal burst there have a very cosy lead at three-quarter time. 11 goals, 8-6-7. So it's a 31-point margin. You can see the storyline below. Geelong in front all day, but Adelaide have got close, almost touching them late in the second quarter. So Geelong, because of this result, are assured of the minor premiership for the first time since 1992, because the Kangaroos lost to West Coast at Telstra Dome. West Coast back into the top 4 tonight, and the Kangaroos down to 5th spot. High-scoring game, 119 to 102. Geelong play Kangaroos next Sunday in
Our network match from Telstra Dome. Max Rook has been over to Germany, and we're just waiting on Bomber Thompson, who's about to talk to Ricky Olorenshaw. That breeze still not very strong. Adelaide would need, you'd reckon, 2 goals in the first 5 minutes here, Tim, to really give themselves a hope.
Yeah, you would think they'd have to make a charge early. I'm looking out there at the moment, just seeing whether or not they've made any major changes during that 3/4 time break. McLeod's going to go to the wing. Burton looks to have gone forward again.
Let's go down to Bomber Thompson with Rick.
Tough conditions, Bomber, but you must be happy the way you played and withstood the Crows' pressure.
Yeah, look, it was tough. The best quarter was obviously the first when the ground wasn't chopped up, and we played some terrific footy. Yeah, but they are tough, but we're trudging there, don't we? We kicked a few goals. We're fairly happy with that quarter.
Not a day for Flair. You must be happy the way Cameroon's soccer effort to Selwood went.
Yeah, it was great. Love all that. I loved his third quarter. I thought he really helped set it up for us.
You gave him and Scarlett a rest at the end there?
Yeah, just rotate everyone, Rick, these days. But footy's changed, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's fine. Good on you, mate.
Ricky does a very good job. Just keeps them on the move. He's taught them to walk. He's the Adam Gilchrist of boundary riders. 11:08.67. Final term. Adelaide needs something. They need a spark. Is it here? Well, a high tackle on Shirley. No, it's a throw the other way. So King drives it down towards half forward. Kelly gets some separation, takes the mark 60 metres out. Thought about giving it off to Ablett. Decides against it. Mooney on the lead. It's not a good kick, though. It bounces in front of him and goes across the line despite his best efforts.
He's done a pretty good job on Ablett too, Shirley. Ablett's been averaging 31 touches in the last 3 weeks. Only had 14 to 3/4 time. Hasn't been getting those handball receives either.
After we throw in, did the ruckman touch the ball? Burns behind, had it, lost it. Bock in trouble. Goodwin. They work it out. Well worked eventually. Massey gave it across to Stevens to the wing. Was that a push out? Not according to the umpire. Douglas goes down under a Corey tackle. And we'll have a bounce.
They're playing the paddock again, Adelaide. No one inside their forward line. No one inside their forward 50 at all.
And Scarlett, a free man back there for the Cats. So Goodwin to Shirley, who was backtracking. Ablett with him, and then Stevens. Good smother by Varco. Goodwin getting in hard, trying to get a high tackle on him. He rode the tackle down, but not coming, so another ball up.
I reckon Bomber Thompson said to this group of players at 3/4 time, now you can probably win this game going about 90%. What about an all-out effort? That pressure then was just fantastic.
Shirley's little kick. Van Berlo's handball missed the mark. Ooh. Second effort, and Marriage, it got slung out to Shirley. Now he check side. That was a clever kick to keep it in. Porplesia third man up. Douglas. Again, not a bad kick, actually, just to keep it along the line. There was nothing else for him. And no Adelaide player inside their forward 50. Percentage could be a factor for the Crows. They've got 3 winnable games after this. They've got a chance, even if they lose today, because of the defeats of Brisbane and St Kilda, and also the Bulldogs on the weekend.
Thompson, third man up, knocked it down towards the 50. Goodwin comes back to Riley. 70 metres from goal. Thompson, a moment ago, was the ruckman. He's got it, 60 metres out. Thompson for space. Gill on the lead. Overcooked it. Going back is Scarlett. Gill does well. Butters up again, close to the boundary line. Milburn gets a hand pass to Enright. Weight of numbers tell the story. Good shepherd from Enright. Bought some time for Ling. Towards the wing, McLeod locked up with Stokes. Getting back and picking it up, Tawney. Taking a full revolution by Bartel. Johncock tried to knock it out. Jimmy got it. Looked up. Saw McLeod and kept it.
They're a good tackling side, aren't they, Geelong? And their midfielders, they're really good midfielders like Bartel, Corey and Ablett. All like to play inside as well.
Corey, speaking of him, and Johncock. Burns with him. Marriage, good hands, but Thompson's handball not so good. Stevens in trouble.
He's another good tackling player too, Kelly.
Just go back behind you, Mark.
So Kelly just outside the 50. Goes to the goal square and front spot. Couldn't hold that one, Mooney. Varco clever. Ablett kicks a second goal for the day.
He doesn't get a lot of the ball, Varco, but he's a dangerous player at ground level. This is a great tackle here by Kelly. Stevens just couldn't get away from him. Correct decision by the umpire. And then he just kicked up to Mooney. Mooney was going to lead, and then he just signalled, no, just put it up in the air. On a dry day, he would have got that. Rutten just got a hand there in time. But it was the smart play of Varco at ground level. Adelaide just went to the attacking side of the contest, to the space.
Gary Ablett, 15 possessions, 2 goals this afternoon. Shirley has done a pretty good job. Wouldn't think that Ablett will get Brownlow votes this afternoon. You would think Bartel will. Either 3 or 2. He's got 28 possessions as King hooks it down behind. Whistle. Adelaide getting a free. Off the ball. Goodwin being held. Drives inside the forward 50. Big leap at the back. Burton, but up very early. Unrealistic, I think, is the call. Watch this again.
What's the difference between that and Trent Crowd yesterday? Yeah. One took the mark and one didn't. Is that the difference?
Well, I reckon he didn't really knock anyone out of the contest. It was a legitimate fly at the ball.
I think you're right. At half back, Milburn could have been held. Still battles on Milburn. Well played. The veteran. Back comes the youngster Douglas. Met very solidly. Kelly on one side, Milburn the other. The ball does not come out, and the umpire will ball it up.
That's happening in this. Here it is again. No hands in the back. Jump for the ball legitimately. The ball just didn't get to him.
That's right. And his hands were right behind Harley, so he was in position B.
And what might be unrealistic for some players is not for Brett Burton, surely.
Well put.
Well, you've got to have your realistic players in one column and your unrealistic players in the other, don't you? And the umpires have got to know.
Fortunately, they didn't put up Cam Mooney when he went to sock the ball to Joel Selwyn. Anyway, kick by Thompson. Riley, front spot, Van Berlo, hooking it back to the goal square. Oh, well, that was unrealistically good. How did he take that?
On cue, that's how he took it.
Oh, he's a magnificent mark, isn't he?
That is a great bit of play. We've seen him just outdo Harley on 2 occasions, just with body strength. Jumped early in the 3rd quarter.
He did the Polly Farmer in the... Who did that one remind you of, Dennis?
I'm just trying to think. Who did that?
Brett Burton.
Mark Taylor.
Does he kick his 3rd? He's missed it.
No.
Oh, that's a... Well, they're a long way behind, aren't they? But
they missed shots in that 3rd quarter, though, too, Bruce. It would have put a lot of goal-scoring pressure or a lot of scoreboard pressure on Geelong.
And Burton actually missed an easy one in the 3rd, and Poplesia missed a couple. Anyway, it's a behind.
Bartel, 29 possessions to Egan. Johnson, Egan. Bartel's got it. Advantage paid, so he's got to 30. Oh, umpire, what are you doing?
Strike that one off.
Yeah, we got Jimmy on the watch.
Jimmy!
Just talking about his 29 possessions now. A couple of years ago, he's a vote catcher, Bartel. A couple of years ago, got 14, the most of any Geelong players. And I think from memory, didn't finish in the top 4 of the club best and fairest. So on a good year, I would like him a lot.
You keep talking him up, he'll win the Brownlow.
But don't listen to me, the umpires. There goes the kick down towards half forward from King. Mooney was up. Johnson is in. Surrounded by friendly folks. Gave it to Corey. That's a clever kick. Almost stuck in the mud. Hand pass comes from Stokes to wing. Wonderful Shepherd Varco. Terrific team goal.
He's a goal-kicking midfielder, Cameron Ling. That's his 25th goal for the year. They've got players, they've got 8 players, in fact, the Cats, who've kicked a goal a game. But this was really smart play. The first kick to the space to Stokes really set it up. And then Cameron Ling, who's such a hard runner, good pick up in these conditions too by Stokes, who's had the job all afternoon of just trying to quell the domination of McLeod across our back, played as a defensive forward. That was the really smart kick to the space that got it going.
Most goals Ling had kicked before this year was 16 in 2004. He's on 25. And Dennis described that as a team goal. Don't Geelong do that so well? They create goals using 5 or 6 players, but they don't overuse it.
I think in many ways, Bruce, that's the most impressive thing about them. Their willingness to shepherd. They're a wonderful shepherding team.
They're a team. They're a real genuine team.
Edwards under pressure, kicks to centre half. Oh, Burton nearly again. Not quite. He's putting on a show in the last quarter, and then Gill hooks it back, and that's a behind.
He'll never die wondering, will he, Burton?
Oh, you'd pay good money to watch him, I reckon.
Here we go again.
Just love him.
In position 4.
I think Gill is going to learn where not to be in future. He caught the knee that time. Earlier, it was Scarlett.
That might be why they're playing him, though, Dennis. He needs a launching pad, Burton.
Just tell Gill to grow his hair. Next 3 coming up for Adelaide. That's an interesting draw, I think you've got to say.
No chance, King.
And really, it's looking as though they need to win all 3. We talked about it coming in. We saw a shot of Mark Bomber Thompson moments ago, old teammate of Tim's. Here's Scarlett coming away. Last year, much maligned, under real pressure. Now his footy's Bill Gates. It's gathered there by Burton, back towards the pocket. Bounces, goes out of bounds despite the best efforts of Porplesia. So boundary throw in.
Bill Gates.
Well, smarty.
Oh,
well, I've used you once in the sentence. I couldn't go there again, otherwise would have been you.
Burton coming off the ground, which is interesting. Corey. It's been fantastic, Corey. Probably second only to Bartel amongst Geelong's players. And down the line, Stevens almost. Bock. Crow's defence has done pretty well. They've been bombarded at times. Gill's kick not good. Milburn clever, just used his hands to keep control of the footy to Mackie. Not such a good kick. Jericho, solid mark. Has he done enough, Jericho? He hasn't been bad, has he, coming in for Welsh?
Good.
Now McLeod.
That looks okay.
And then McLeod just sets it up. Burton not there, of course, so who can take the mark? Well, Gill maybe. And then the handball, and Porplesia gets the goal. So Adelaide get their first goal of the last quarter. 2 to Porplesia.
He can cover some ground, Gill, can't he? He was up in the centre of the ground a moment ago. Just reading the article this morning about Matthew Egan, and when he first arrived at the club, he was a terrible kick. And they said, like, his kicking wasn't anywhere near the standard it needed to be. After 2 summers of just hard work, a lot of work on his kicking, and then he's improved to the point now where you wouldn't even recognise him as being a bad kick. You just wonder if you can apply the same amount of effort and work to Gill, whether or not you can bring that part of his game up, you know, another 20-30%.
35 points the margin. You wouldn't like their chances from here, but there's still plenty of time. Ling out of the middle, down towards the 50. Varco wanted front position. Weight of numbers, though, against him. Massey, Edwards, now Thompson. The defensive side of the wing. Nothing on that side of the ground for him. So he pulls it back towards Perry, launches himself, hands to it, couldn't hang on. Porplesia, they've got 2-on-1. How did that happen? This will be interesting. Gill kicks a goal. The Prof.
Porplesia again, just smart play by him, and here's the kick into the forward line. The contest with Johnson, he'll never die wondering, off the ground there by Porplesia, pushing up to the contest, Jericho, and there was nothing beautiful about that kick on the left foot, but it was as effective as it needed to be. And that really opened the play up. It was a 2-on-1. You just wonder how Gill actually lost his opponent, his direct opponent.
The Birdman having a couple of run-throughs. I wonder, I might get down to Ricky in a minute if everything's all right with the Birdman, but he was flying so high. Adelaide doing well with a couple of goals. Dennis, you posed the question, there was enough time. Ablett to half forward. Adelaide have stuck it out pretty well, haven't they? Oh, that was clever. Johnson to Kelly. Kelly to the front of the goals. Good kick, Ablett and Mooney. There was always a chance, and again, some just great team footing.
He was never, ever going to have a shot at goal then, and the 2 players that led out from the goal square, Ablett and also Mooney, knew that. It was the right thing to do. He set the ball up beautifully. And he hasn't dominated today, Mooney, but every time he's gone near the ball, it's looked like something was going to happen.
Well, this will be his 46th goal for the year. Far and away the best season he's had. Well, there you go. So he has missed a couple.
I reckon there's only one slot, Bruce, in that forward line available to anyone at Geelong.
Yep.
And that might be Nathan Ablett's spot. For a centre-half forward, he just doesn't do enough.
There's a push against the Crows, going to Enright against Douglas.
Oh, there.
Enright comes out just outside the 50, very wide. Kelly, Ablett finds his brother. Well, he's heard Tim, and he's keen to respond.
It's worked well today. Ian Perry heard Ox at half-time and kicked a goal.
Our voices carry. We've got some deep voices up here. Ablett in the shadows, and this you would think would seal it. 30 points the difference, under 11 minutes to go. They've got the minor premiership, and Ablett misses. So still a lifeline for Adelaide.
I wonder if they'll be tempted come finals time to actually try and play the three big blokes. Play King and Blake in the ruck. Push Ottens into the deep into the forward line and play Mooney up a little bit higher.
John Cock got it from Goodwin.
They're good hands.
Yeah, Paul Pleasure, terrific. Martin Knights has had a quiet one. He's been such a big disposal man, and that's the area of his game which is below par. Another poor kick on Nathan Ablett. He hasn't kicked more than one goal in a game since round 7.
And he's only averaging 9 touches, doesn't get a lot of marks, works, and still probably isn't at the fitness level that you require from a hard-working centre-half forward.
Mackie got it from Egan to Scarlett, back to Mackie. They've controlled it well to Selwood.
See, there's a lot to like about this kid.
It's hard to imagine anyone being better than him in his first year in the position he plays. Was Judd as good as that in his first year? I know they're different players.
I doubt he was.
Straight back to him.
I mean, he's probably not going to take your breath away, Selwood.
He hasn't got breakneck speed,
no,
but he works in all facets of the game. He's hard as a cat's head.
I don't think we've seen a more mature, hard-nosed player with less experience than Selwood playing such a role. As Riley runs hard, Paul Pleasure again. Well, he is having a very, very interesting day. He's missed a couple of easy shots for goal. Can he take a mark?
I think he's harming David Johnson's chances of playing in the finals.
Well, I guess everyone at Geelong's now trying to work out their best 22. You've got Rook to come in. Obviously, Chapman is the gun to come in. Well, does this give Adelaide a chance? I reckon it does if he kicks this. It's goal. He's got it. He's kicked 3.
Well, they're down by 4 goals and a bit. But I think Johnson is much better suited to an actual smaller type player, not a marking player. Here's a kick by Riley. Good penetration on this kick. Kicked it to the dangerous position on the ground. There's a bit of a knock in the back there. Just used his body well, Paul Pleasure.
Gee, that's flirting with danger, isn't it? Just scraping it home.
Gee, you just wonder whether or not there could have been a tall player on the goal line there for the Cats too.
88-63, Ricky.
Well, just on Brett Burton, he came off the ground about 3 minutes ago. He did look a little bit proppy, but he's had a niggling knee problem all year. He did land awkwardly from one of those speckies. Went for a run around the boundary, and he said he was okay, but he's got the tracksuit on, so it doesn't appear to be that good.
Probably just checking his heat tiles after re-entry. There's Thomas, taken away by Corey. Goes down towards half forward. Johnson was up, couldn't hang on. Knights gets the crumb. Now McLeod. So more run from Adelaide just for the moment. 25 points the difference. Thompson just on the ground. Outside the 50. Sets it up. Perry is favoured by the kick. Stands his ground. Well, that was wonderful, Harley.
He should have done more than Perry. That ball had to come to ground, at the very least.
Milburn with Kelly on the defensive side of the wing.
Just quickly, Dennis, if Brett Burton had been there a moment ago, what a difference that might have made.
That's true. Ottens.
Play on.
Sweeping hand pass, and they've got 2 out here. Just biding their time. Johnson gave it to Corey. The meanders in the shadows. Enright, Scarlett. Now a bit of dash. Scarlett, beautiful kick. Nathan Ablett lays it off. Burns. Mackie can kick a long way. Question of accuracy. Puts it through.
was a wonderful setup then by the Cats, but the really smart bit of play there was by Burns. When he got the ball on the 50, he knew that he was in range, but he was on the wrong side for a left footer, so he looked to the outside, was prepared to give the ball to Mackie, and we've seen that as a feature of their play all day, Geelong, quite prepared to dish off the ball. Ablett did that as a lead-up centre-half forward just to create that, but Burns, after dishing the ball off to Mackie, actually provided the shepherd for him as well. He's had a wonderful season, Mackie. He's almost been an All-Australian half-backer this year.
Well, they're gone now, the Crows, aren't they? Geelong home, and Neil Craig and Mark Thompson at various stages in their seasons. Mark Thompson, 14 consecutive wins it'll be. It's been 70 years since that's happened in the one season for Geelong. They won 23 in a row, but that was over 2. Now McLeod gets it back and tucks it under the arm. That's a cute kick. Well done, McLeod. To Jericho, who can kick this. And he has done enough, Jericho, hasn't he?
He has. Yeah, no, there's plenty to work with, Jericho. They've got so many players, Adelaide, that have similar abilities. We've got Paul Plesia, Jericho, Gill.
Well, this is top off a pretty good day. He gave the beautiful handball to Gill early in the quarter. He's kicked 1 goal already. He is a good kick. And he's just pushed it and missed. So, what do you reckon about Adelaide today, Tim? I mean, they've stuck to their guns. They wasted chances in the third quarter. Do you give them a tick, or do you reckon it's been a poor performance?
No, I reckon you give them a pass today, but I reckon you've got to ask the question at the completion of this game, what happened in that third quarter when I thought that they were playing above Geelong, but they just stopped pressing, and then the momentum swung the Cats' way, and that's when they got that run on.
Martel combining with Ablett back there, close to the boundary line as it comes out. Wojcinski accelerates away. Look at this. A couple of bounces. Takes them on. Still Wojcinski. He's trapped. 4 Crows around him. Advantage paid. No, it's not. Wojcinski, anxious to make amends, kept going and ran Shirley down, but it's going to be an Adelaide Crows free. Perry just pops it across to Edwards. Edwards really didn't look. Harley, uncontested. But when you look at the Adelaide list, the players that they are missing are almost irreplaceable in terms of their list. We're talking about Bassett in defence. We're talking about Bode on the forward line and Rashuda, who's simply irreplaceable.
And Henshaw too.
Yeah, those guys bring something different to the mix. There's certainly a lot of similarities about the players Adelaide have got out there this afternoon. Nathan Ablett getting busy in this final term. Kicks it down towards full forward. Otten's clever mark. Shielded the ball, shielded the drop zone, and it fell onto his chest.
Beautifully called, Dennis. That's exactly what he did. Just protected the ball up against a really big bloke in Rutten, who appears to me to be less than 100% fit still.
He made the ball come to him, didn't he?
Good play by Ablett, though, in this last quarter to push to the ball again and provide a target. That's what we haven't seen enough from him today. I reckon he's a young bloke who just doesn't know how hard he can push himself.
Brad Otten's back in the team this afternoon. He's done enough. He started with King on the bench and kicks a goal.
Just talking about those young blokes like Ablett, who actually, until they get to a level of maturity, they sometimes play within themselves because they don't want to blow up too early in the game. Now, this is the last quarter of the game, and he's moving more than he's moved at any other stage of the game. And you've got to say to yourself, well, where'd that been for 3 quarters?
Gee, that's a beautiful drop of the ball.
He is a lovely kick.
Got some skill, the big boy, hasn't he?
Lovely technician.
12 goal scorers for the Cats today. Otten's their 12th goal scorer.
That's the other thing about the Geelong side now, Bruce. You go to the game and you don't expect, early days when Otten's crossed, everyone was expecting a massive performance from him each week. Now, you don't even consider that he needs to give a massive performance.
He must feel like he really belongs, which is a good thing because he's a high-quality footballer, isn't he? But he's been a bit maligned. Portlesia ridden hard by Harley. Thompson to McLeod to Knights. Did well there, Knights, and then unloads to full forward. I'll say it for the last time, for a fit Brett Burton in the last 5 minutes. He obviously is injured because once they took him off the ground, they probably forfeited any chance they had. He was so dangerous in the early part of this final term.
Jake Corey's the other bloke who's gone from being a B-plus type player to an A-plus player in their midfield.
They've all stepped up, haven't they, this year? Those that might have been C-pluses are now B-pluses. Thinking of blokes like Kelly and that. They're a good, even team, aren't they? Having terrific seasons as Riley pushes forward and Scarlett got rid of Shirley. Perry tackled by Gary Ablett down there.
Let it go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, let it go. Thanks, Steve.
Just some a description there from Matthew Scarlett about Shirley's work today.
So that's interesting, isn't it? Port, the only minor premier to win the flag since the Bombers did in 2000. So that's where the Cats will be tonight.
Poison chalice. Down goes Knights. What a transformation. He's overseen it. And Craig was in a similar situation last year. Only to finish poorly. But now Geelong, because of what they've amassed in terms of wins and points and percentage, can't be displaced. There's a long kick from McLeod. It's a goal. Wonderful effort.
He's a star.
When you see that, Tim, you wish there were two of him because he's such a I mean, he's such a goal scorer. He's kicked 246 goals in his career, but that's only his 5th this year, and he's probably only had about 6 shots for goal.
That's the question, isn't it? Is it more value to actually set play up across half back, or is it more value to get a possession in the forward half that might result in a setup for a goal or a goal itself?
Yeah.
And I reckon they wrestle with that all the time at Adelaide.
But surely there's times for both.
Yeah, I think you're right too.
So the Crows sticking to their guns. McLeod's had a good day. So a lot of the ball. He had Stokes running with him early. Marriage. Selwood swings it wide. Mackie, well done by Shirley, but then Mackie again. Varco's had a lot of handballs and they've been effective. Bartel cut off by Van Berlo. Douglas, he's just struggling to really get a whole lot of footy at the moment, but he's been played in a tough position at times. John Cock had it cut off. Varco pushes forward. Burns held up by McLeod. Back to Bartel. He's got that 30 covered. Here's Mackie inboard to Corey. And he just took his time and didn't quite find his man. Massey's gone. Play on called. Varco almost. The Cats trying to work it forward. Stokes can't.
Got the footy.
And ball up. Let's have a look at your top 4 for the day, Tim.
Well, Bartel is the #1 player in my mind on the ground today. Had 31 disposals. Corey has been magnificent. 11 clearances. John Cox had 30 touches too. And I've just loved the work of Selwood.
Johnson snaps. Goes at right angles and getting back in the nick of time. McLeod did brilliantly. So the margin is 31 points, and I suppose on balance of play that may flatter Adelaide. Although, having said that, I was trying to find an analogy that would describe the afternoon. It's been very confusing, I think. It's a bit like me asking Michelle Pfeiffer to dance and she says yes. Not something that had crossed my mind, so I'm totally confused. They just haven't taken their opportunities, Adelaide. They've had a few this afternoon. As Stevens goes around the outer side towards half forward. Griffin, well, it's a young body and was treated as such. Wojcinski, Enright to midfield. Johnson demanding runners. Then decides he'll run himself. He was using them as decoys. Selwood. Barco. He needs a goal. He's done some good work on the forward line and he's missed.
I'm still tied up with Michelle Pfeiffer. I don't know about you, Tim.
No, I reckon if she said yes to your proposal for a dance, you'd soon work it out, Dennis.
Do you think I would?
McLeod long. Good mark taken by Stevens. He's battled on well, Stevens. To Shirley. Running hard. Varco, great chase to put the pressure on, and then Scarlett gets rid of Gould. Back to Enright. Switches it. Bartel got a bad bounce. Portlesia and Bartel, 2 of the stars of the day. Johnson to Scarlett, whose goal on half-time was a big moment in the match, wasn't it? Milburn to Selwood to Bartel. How many's he got? He's got 35.
Yep.
Well, he slaughtered that First time to 30. Varco getting better. Look at that handball long. Did set Burns up a bit. Johnson got a high one. Riley.
It's a bit of showtime now, isn't it? You know, the other feature, Macca, about their midfielders is how prepared they are to actually put their nose over the ball. All of them, all of the guys that they play in the midfield are quite happy to go put their nose over the ball and win a hard ball. And their spread's good from a stoppage. They work hard to get into space, but they work really hard defensively and when the ball's in dispute.
Johnson, one goal today. Well, there you go. Trying something different. Puts himself on the left foot and just misses. Just thinking of that poison chalice a moment ago, Dennis. Just thinking aloud. I think West Coast last year with the minor premier and went on. So that was written 12 months ago, that match fact. We're just getting ready for the day.
Oh, I see.
I sold it to you.
I bought it. Edward Short. Bock is paid a free kick. So Bartel will finish on 35, you would think. His career high 38 against the Western Bulldogs, round 16 earlier this season. We saw that on Friday Night Football. Had a stellar year. And Geelong make it 14 straight. He is an illustrious company. Not Corey Enright, but Mark Bomber Thompson. Not many coaches have put together that sort of run. Full time at Skill Stadium. Geelong carry all before them. 15-13. Adelaide 10-10. Here's our man Jimmy. He's down there with Rick Olorenshaw.
Yeah, I'm with Jimmy. He'd probably snag yourself some more Brownlow votes today. When the rain came down this morning, you must have been wrapped.
Yeah, it wasn't bad with the rain because we want to play the game in a contest, and whenever it's wet, you know, the game's always like that.
And that's one thing we do admire about your midfield. You always put your nose over the footy when it's your turn.